welcome back. I feel like it has been so long since I sat down and done like a chit chatty get ready with me, and I missed you guys. So today Kane and I are going to a cocktail party, and so I wanted to just sit down, have a little one-on-one time and basically get ready together. So we're going to a cocktail party, as I said, which means I've gone from like 0 to 100 to this full evening glam look. Now the most notable part of the look is obviously the bold lip, which I did because I kind of wanted to just embrace the color of the dress and not shy away from it, so kind of thought, why not? And the rest of the look is pretty clean and slicky, perfect for evenings because it's really long wearing and long lasting, so this isn't gonna like get too dewy or shiny or anything like that, and it's perfect for photos because it's fairly high coverage going on. And then I've got this sort of sleek black liner with lashes going on because I was really inspired by these new lashes that my glam family sent me. They're strip lashes, but instead of applying them with glue, it actually comes with an adhesive liner. So you just have to put the eyeliner on and then pop the lashes on there and they stick. That's why I've gone and done a pretty bold black liner look there, because I wanted to try them. I'd never tried them before. I really like them. They're sticking very, very nicely. So this is the final look. I hope you like it. And before I head out, let's get ready. So I have a clean, cleansed face, and I want to prep it a little bit by putting on some moisturizer just because I've been feeling like a little bit dry skinned lately. But the thing is, I don't like wearing like a heavy creamy moisturizer or too much product on my face under makeup, because I can just, sometimes when I go out and I'm like hot, if it's like really warm weather, you feel like the moisturizer gets a little bit like goopy and slippery and stuff like that. So I've been using this It Cosmetics Confidence in a Gel Lotion instead of like a cream moisturizer, and I'm finding that applying that to my skin before makeup, it's keeping it like hydrated and plump throughout the day without feeling like my moisturizer is like slipping and sliding all over the place. So I'm just gonna bring that down onto the neck as well. I'm also going to pop a little bit of eye cream, just a tiny little smidge of eye cream on. It's also by It Cosmetics and it's the Confidence in an Eye Cream. Cute little tub. With these fingers here, your ring fingers is what you should apply eye cream with, purely because they're like your softest finger. I think that's why, because you don't really like, you never really use these for anything, do you? Cool beans. Next up, I'm going to go straight in with a primer. I'm using Luminous Silk by Giorgio Armani today. It's a really nice hydrating primer. Again, it doesn't have like too much of that mattifying effect or anything, because I'm going to be wearing a pretty long lasting foundation. So I just want something fresh and creamy and hydrating underneath. We massage up. So I've been doing something a little bit different with my technique lately, because I used to kind of wear a foundation that essentially matched my skin tone pre-makeup. And if you look at the after and before of when I apply makeup, my face is always a little bit paler before than when I'm done with it. Like the amount of bronzer and blush and contouring and all that goes into it, I end up darkening my skin tone more to like match my shoulders realistically. So what I've started to do, instead of using a light base and darkening that down with, you know, bronzer and contour and all that, I've actually gone for a darker base. So the foundation I'm going to try today, so the foundation I'm using today is another Giorgio Armani one, but it's called Power Fabric. Now this one is like a really nice long wear foundation. It's a lot more high coverage than Maestro, which is the one I use on a day-to-day basis. But because I'm going out and like this is all about photos, it's a nighttime event, I want to make sure that this is really long wearing and long lasting and that it doesn't have any flashback. So this is a really, really beautiful foundation. I am just going to kind of apply it more to the outer parts of my face, and then I'm going to use highlighter and concealer to contour and brighten up the areas that I want to kind of, you know, accentuate. So see how this is like a fair, like 1 or 2 shades darker than my current skin tone on my face. But when I bring it down into the neck, ooh, it's really hard to talk when you're, when I bring it down into the neck, it kind of blends more with the tone of the rest of my body. So I've really concentrated on just putting most of that coverage on the outer edges of my face, including bringing it out onto the ears, into the hairline there, and then just with kind of what's left over on my sponge, I'm just tapping that into the front inner T-zone area, but honestly, barely any, because I'm gonna go in and brighten all of this up with concealer. So I got sent 2 new concealer colors. I've not used either of these. These are like the Tarte Shape Tape. I'm sure you've heard of them. They're very popular concealers. This one's called Aglow, and it looks a lot more peachy pinky. And this one is called Dream, which looks a lot more kind of, how do I say, ashy in tone. So, how do these work? I got too much product on my hand. Is this a lid or a twisty? I need a towel. Oh, oh, we have movement. Okay, like watching a chimp trying to get into a package. All right, so I figured it out. So I'm going to go in with a glow just because I feel like it looks nice and bright, and it's gonna give me a bit of that peachy undertone, which is quite nice under the eyes. All right, this is the shape we're making. I have to admit the sponge is so soft that while I'm using it, I'm actually poking my face with the entire packaging as well, because the sponge is just kind of disappearing into nothing. So I'm gonna switch back to my beauty blender. Apparently, this is supposed to brighten up tired looking under eyes, which there's no complaints here. Oh, I really do quite like the formula. It shocked me at first. Just to double down on those tired under eyes, I'm gonna go back in with my trusty It Cosmetics Bye Bye Under Eye Concealer. I'm using the color Medium, brackets light to medium. And I'm just going to tap a little bit of that right there and just tap it all the way out. Okay, the combo that I've just accidentally come up with is freaking awesome. I was not expecting that, but I am liking what is happening. Now, the only thing is, because there is so much reflection and kind of shininess in these shape tapes that I just tried, I'm gonna go in with a little bit of powder to settle this and mattify it a fair bit. So first of all, I'm gonna pick up the Fenty Beauty powders. I'm using the color Butter. I also have with me, oh no, this is Butter. I'm using the color Banana. I'm just gonna pick a tiny bit of that up. Oh, I've already creased. Can you believe that? Okay, so I'm just gently brushing that powder out a little bit, just around the pieces where I get oily, like around the nose. Now, I do want to add a little bit of powder on my neck because I tend to get some little fold lines going on down there, and I would rather set this foundation in place than end up with little, too much. So I'm starting off my brows with the Fenty Beauty brow liners, and this one is in medium brown. I'm just going to shape the main part of the brow. Now I want to give my brow a little bit of a lifted shape, giving this a lot more of a lifted look. So rather than drawing like a bowy arch that kind of goes up and then drops back down, I'm sort of letting this whole brow go up in a little evil, like an evil looking direction. But it actually looks really like snatched, and especially because I'm doing like an evening kind of look, I think it's gonna work really nicely with the wing liner and all that sort of stuff. Ooh. Okay, and then I'm switching to light brown in the same pencil, just a lighter shade. And I'm going to do the sort of inner corners of my eyebrows. And with that, I'm just going boop, and doing little upward flicks. Okay, so I'm gonna set my eyebrows with a little brow mascara. This one is by Nude by Nature, and it is the color number 2, brown. So it does actually have pigment in it. It's different to, I have like a clear brow gel that you can just sort of shape the eyebrow hairs with. But this one is going to add a little bit of a different color to what I've already got on there. And I'm just finding that makes my eyebrows look a little bit more natural because there's like different hair colors going on. And just like normal mascara, you can just color in your eyebrows. So my lids I'm going to keep nice and simple, and I'm going to use this color here, which you can see I am liking a lot. It's part of the Fenty Beauty palettes. I have a fair few of these cute little palettes here, and I'm actually really loving them. They've got really beautiful pigmented eyeshadows. Now when I do this, I actually like to bring it beyond what you would call my eye and onto the nose a little bit. This is just the technique that I like to use to contour my nose. And then I bring it down, still kind of hugging the inner corner of my eye, all the way down the side of my nose like that. Bringing the excess down even further into my nostril crease. And now I'm brushing that out just to further highlight under the eyes there like that. I'm going to take that same shade and just under my brow, tiny bit there. Then I'm going to switch things up and go straight into my Hoola bronzer. And I'm just going to define the crease. And then towards the outer part here, I'm essentially bringing this from the outer corner of my eyelid, and I'm tapping that in like an upwards direction. You can see that's creating quite a lifted effect. Okay, now while we're here playing with bronzer, I'm going to contour my nose. Now, I'm picking up a very dense little brush, and I am going to go from the inner corner of my eyebrow, and I'm bringing that like in. It really, really works for me. And then on the end, I kind of just go nuts and this looks insane, but give me 2 seconds. I'll just blend this out. Now with a clean brush, I'm just gently kind of tapping on that to soften it up and blend it all out. And then I'm going back in with the really light pearl color and just defining where I've drawn that contour. Okay, so I'm leaving the nose contour there for the time being, and I'm going to use this same bronzer just on my under eyes. Okay, so next up, my loves, I want to take a different shade of brown, one that's slightly darker than my bronzer, and I'm going to go with this one here. This is Nudie Booty, and it's in the number 3 Fenty Beauty palette. And I'm just going to place that loosely in the outer corner crease just to define that a smidge more. Taking the same color onto my lower lash line, just the outer corner. Alright, so this has gotten a little bit too dark for my liking, so I'm gonna brighten it up a little bit with this color here. It's like a nice, it's called cashmere, but it's kind of like a really pale orange. And I'm just going to tap that to blend in the brown with the really light shade under my brow bone. I'm actually going to tap that also a little bit on the lid. I just find this shade is really nice when you kind of like, maybe you've got a bit overboard with the color. Yes, it warms it up a lot. It looks a lot more orange, but it also just blends everything in together so nicely. So that's in the Tartelette Toasted palette. I use it a lot, which really speaks to my accuracy as a eyeshadow applier. Okay, now final little thing on the lids is I want a smidge of shimmer. Nothing too crazy, but there's a color here that's intriguing me a lot. And it's very like muted. It is the one that's called Shimmer Down, and essentially that's what we're working with. So I just want to take a little bit of that, and I'm going to tap it in the center part of my lid. I'm going in for more, I like it. So I'm just laying that down just in the center, because that gives your lids a little bit more of like a rounded effect. And then I'm going to go back in with my sort of blending brush and just clean up the edges there. Okay, it is the moment we have all been waiting for. I am going to do my wing and my lashes. Now this is going to be the hero of today's look. So I have some choices here in the Glam Express range. There's a natural one, which is called Ella Rose. Then we've got this one here, Ruby Grace, has like a really kind of mink effect looking. It's kind of the in-between one. Okay, so this one's length and this one's intense. What should we do today? Ooh. Should we just do intense? We're going for the intense. It's been a long time since I've done like a proper lash look, so I am pumped about it. And I've noticed recently that a lot of beauty gurus have been like applying their lashes with a whole different technique. So rather than putting the glue directly on the strip lash and then applying it onto your eye, which a lot of the time, if you don't place it in the exact perfect spot, you kind of run the risk of getting glue sort of smudged around on your eyeshadow a little bit, right? So I've noticed lately, while, you know, watching other people do their tutorials and stuff like that, that a lot of people have been putting glue directly onto their eyelid, like onto their lash line, and then just getting the fresh strip lash with no glue on it and placing it down. Now that obviously means you're preventing the risk of like smudging all your eyeshadow everywhere, but this is like one step better. They're essentially just going, don't even worry about the white glue or anything, just go straight in with adhesive eyeliner, do that, and then pop your strip lash on there. So let's give it a crack. It looks like a normal sort of felt tip liner. Now, all we need to make sure is that this glides on smoothly. So in order not to smudge the rest of my face, I'm just taking a little pad and I'm going to kind of elongate the outer corner of my eye like that and not breathe for a bit, so give me a sec. First, I draw the diagonal wing. I don't like doing a wing that's too long. I prefer to have like a nice sort of fairly thick shape to it, but because my lid crease is right there, if I go too long, I tend to crease my liner. So I like to keep them kind of a bit shorter. Then I just draw from that outer corner towards my lash line and create like a little triangle. That way, if I look front on, it still looks good, and if I look down like that, it still looks good too, and it's not run across the crease too much. Now, when I'm at this point, I switch the direction of my line, and I place that against my lashes, and really tightly just drag along my lashes to meet what I've already drawn. Okay, so the liner is on and looking fierce. Then I give my lashes a little bit of a wiggle and we're in business. That is just sticking on there. Inner corner is nicely stuck. I'm just gonna let that chill and pop the other one on. All right, that is feeling totally comfortable. They're not sliding around or anything. Both the outer edges and inner corners are totally glued on there. So I'm gonna set these lashes on there just by doing a tiny little bit of mascara. I just wanna blend my lashes in. Now on my lower lashes, I'm gonna lift those by using a white liner. And now I'm gonna finish off the face. So as you know, I haven't actually contoured or bronzed. I've just gone in with that dark foundation. But I do wanna go in with a light dusting of the Hoola bronzer. And then I'm just working that in from the temples down onto my cheek a little bit. And also just defining the jawline there. And then also taking the bronzer with my little eyeshadow blending brush. And I'm going to tap it under my lip. See how immediately that makes the lip look so much more plump and poppin'? Now I'm actually going to use a little bit of this cashmere color here and use it as a blush. Just decided to pop my hair back because it kept kind of popping to the front and annoying me. Okay, we are on to the finishing touches. So what I'm going to do is grab a little cotton bud, and then I've got this here, my ColourPop Luster Dust Strobe Globe pot. Essentially, it's like a really nice little light shimmer. And I'm going to place that in 2 dots. One just there, and the other one there. Then the next spot I'm using this is a little dot in the center of the tip of my nose. And then one here in the center of the bridge of my nose. Then I'm just gonna grab my finger and go, ooh, and make the two be friends. So I'm going to be wearing a off-the-shoulder boob tube kind of dress. So I want to actually tan a little bit of my décolletage and shoulders. So I'm going to grab this Gloss Finishing Glow by Bondi Sands and just pop that on there, which will help blend my face, because right now my face looks a little bit tander than the rest of my body, so I'm gonna fix that. All right, I'm gonna go in with a red lip. I'm not gonna bother lining, I'm just gonna go in with this Stunner lip paint in the color Uncensored, and I'm going to put that around the outer parts of my lip and then fill it in with something a little bit brighter because my dress is kind of like orange, so I want to get this a bit brighter. And now I'm filling in the inner part of my lip with Capri from my Mellow Cosmetics collab. See how that's like a really nice bright color? So they all kind of create a little bit of a gradient effect. I'm trying to talk while I do this. So that's now really bright and popping towards the inside, and then the outer part looks a little bit like a liner, but it's just a darker color lipstick. Oh, I feel like it's been so long since I've worn a red lipstick. I'm like really pumped about it. It looks kind of weird right now. So for the hair, I want to do something really simple and kind of slicky. Like I don't want a lot going on with the hair, purely because the dress I'm about to pop on is like pretty like flamboyant. Like it basically looks like, you know, the salsa emoji. It's pretty much exactly that dress. So what I want to do with the hair to bring it back into being like more fashion rather than like really frilly and girly is slick it all back. Now that is something that I don't often do. I don't often, if I do slicky, I always have like a center part. I don't know why, but whenever I go to brush my hair back and like do like a tight ponytail, I always just feel like I have such a round looking face. Like my whole, like right now it looks pretty angular or whatnot. When I pull this tight, it's like I just have like just basically a basketball as a head. So I'm gonna see if I can make this work, and I might change my mind. Well, let's have a go. So first thing I'm gonna do is just grab a little mousse. Did you guys ever used to do this when you were in like primary school, and if there was a lump in it, you'd have like a full tantrum? All right, I'm gonna go in with a tiny bit of the Osis Plus Wet Look pomade. It's called Damped. Now, I don't want this to be like wet looking, but I've got so many little flyaways. Still not sold on this hairstyle, but now that I've put this damp stuff in it, it's too late to turn back. All right, and I'm ready for my dance recital. Let's go pop on my dress.
How long are you gonna be?
Not long, I'm just gonna pop my dress on.
Better hurry up.
Okay.
If you're not ready in 15 minutes, I'm just gonna go.
I'm ready in 15 minutes. But I hope you guys like the makeup look. This is how it's all kind of come together. I feel very like festive with this lip on. I've just had to put on earrings because I feel so conscious about my hair being like this that I feel like my entire head is just like perfectly round. I have like a full potato head, especially when I smile because I have such chubby cheeks. So it's only gonna, I can literally only do this face from now on. Alrighty, and she is finally dressed and ready to rumble, so I hope you enjoyed getting ready with me today. Kane is waiting for me at the front door, so I've got to rock and roll. But please make sure if you did enjoy this video that you give it a quick like, and if you're not already subscribed, please consider doing so. I will do a lot more of these kind of videos, plus vlogs and adventures and all sorts of fun stuff. So I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!